So, who was Saint Augustine? Saint Augustine lived over 1600 years ago in northern Africa, modern day Algeria to be exact. Why is he important? Well, for one, he was a theologian who strongly influenced the early Christian church. He helped establish the concept of original sin and of total dependence on the grace of Jesus Christ for salvation. His books are still considered classics to this day and can be found on the shelves of most bookstores and libraries. But things didn't start out so rosy for old Augustine. Born in 354 AD in the Roman province of Africa, Augustine knew from an early age the battle of light and darkness. His mother, Monica, was a devout Christian, but his father, Patricius, was a pagan, which is a fancy word for someone who didn't believe in God. His home life was likely a bit of a challenge. Eventually, despite the ardent wishes of his mother, he abandoned Christianity for the more open-minded paradigm of his father. Once at school, he became a Manichaean, a belief in the struggle between good and evil, but void of any higher power such as God. It wasn't long before he became rather wild, indulging in all sorts of sinful behavior. During this time, he uttered his infamous prayer, "Grant me chastity and continence, but not yet." After well over a decade of vacillating between this philosophy and that philosophy, he was finally struck with the truth. One day, out of thin air, he heard the voice of a child telling him to take up and read, which he took as a command to read the Bible. Scrambling for the nearest copy, he took the book in his hands and decided to read the first words his eyes fell upon. The passage he happened to read changed his life forever. Clothe yourself with the presence of the Lord Jesus Christ, and don't let yourself think about ways to indulge your evil desires. Augustine gave his life to Jesus on the spot, and nothing could have made his mother happier. Within 2 years, and after the death of his son, who had also given his life to Jesus, Augustine sold his inheritance and gave every last penny to the poor. His only remaining possession was the family house, which he promptly converted into a monastery. He soon became a famous preacher, most noted for combating the Manichaean religion, the very one he had followed in his youth. He was eventually ordained a priest and later made a bishop of a town called Hippo. There he worked tirelessly for the rest of his life in efforts to convince its population to believe in Jesus and live for the city of God. He died on August 28, 430 AD. He was 75 years old. To this day, St. Augustine's life and writings remain among the most influential in Christian history. His confessions expose his weakness, his letters and sermons reveal Christ's strength, and his devotion to Jesus serves as a glorious example of how to live.